Other bicycles here, right? Hello and good morning from a very sunny Groningen, where I am in the Park Road, and I'm about to undertake a little city trip of Groningen, so you're welcome to join me. See ya! There's a few things that are worth mentioning right away, I think. These are all normal houses, and nobody has their windows obscured. Nobody's cocooning in like you would find houses anywhere else, like in Belgium and France and Germany. People would generally just, well, shut the world out. And well, that might be a good idea for you. I always think that it also means that you're shutting yourself in. So this way you can look outside as well. But I think nowadays this is very much typically Dutch. And the other thing is, of course, yeah, there's quite a few bikes out there, and that's because quite a few students live in this city. In fact, Groningen is a city of about 200,000 souls, I believe, of which at any given moment 60,000 are students, so there's quite a large percentage of the total population, and that makes this city a very dynamic city. And yeah, it's one of the reasons why I'm still here. It's just a lovely city, so that's why I thought about doing this little city walk with you. First stop is the railway station, which has a rather nice interior, so let's go there. Actually, the other thing noteworthy is that unlike I think a lot of other countries, students are housed in normal houses that will be divided up into separate rooms with shared common rooms, the showers and the kitchen and all that. Which well, creates a bit of a mess, as you could see from the bicycles, but otherwise I think it's a good idea just to mix it up. And again, that gives this city its dynamic character. Yeah, a few minuses of course, but I think it's better than living on a campus, you know, when you're very much in your own zone, and it gives you a good chance of learning how to live in society as well, I guess. We're approaching the railway station already. A lot of construction work going on my left-hand side. I think they're creating a new bus station there, which is needed because access to the city is quite a mess right now. Bike lockers. So obviously this is the oldest part of the railway station. Well, as you can hopefully tell, this station dates from 1895. I actually thought it was 1896, but what do I know? And it was built by, well, conceived by an architect called Goschalk. And I think his aim was to combine Renaissance and Gothic elements. Well, I'm sure you can all tell if that's true or not. I certainly can't. But it makes for a very nice station, certainly indoors with all the beautiful murals. That's super nice. It has had quite a few renovations, unfortunately, of course, but well, I'm happy that the old part still exists. Now, another typical thing, because as you know, we have quite a few bikes over here, and in fact this is kind of cool. So this is a cycle path that runs beneath this little square, and it actually also acts as a as a bike parking as well, so kind of cool. We'll have a proper look at it. And over there you can see our Groningen Museum, which I think I'll end this whole city trip with. so we'll save that for a bit later. And then that one is kind of cute. This is called Peert van Omelux. Peert is a Dutch word for horse, and that would be Uncle Luke. And the funny story I have about this is that one of my favorite artists is Fish from Scotland. Before COVID, Fish used to play quite a bit here. He usually makes remarks about this statue. He calls it the statue of the farting horse. Maybe he's got a point. In fact, I think I'll go that way towards the Oosterpoort, which is a cultural hall, which indeed in the time hosted venues by, amongst others, Fish. So we'll have a look at that, and then we'll go to Oosterhaven. Oost is a Dutch word for east. So this, well, actually this is the south, so it's not quite appropriate, but we'll walk to the east now, and then we go to the city proper, which actually begins here at the museum or at the canal. So this has to be unique. A roundabout at a cycle path. There's also a bike parking lot. Quite special. I wonder how they monitor all these bikes. It says that you can only keep them for 12 days. Maybe it's a chip on the UX. Seems a bit like a student rowing contest. Springtime is around the corner. Lovely. Cool. Well, that's certainly a building you don't see every day here in Groningen. Cool. I am standing in front of the Oosterpoort building, which is a music venue and all other kinds of arts as well. And I've seen quite a few bands here over the years. Fish, Crowded House, Joe Jackson, Living Colour, to name a few. And yeah, I think they're actually going to rebuild this place or move it to another location at some point. Now we're heading over there, which is called Oosterhaven, so the East Harbour. So let's just check it out. Oh boy, that's a modern city for you. Litter everywhere, even on a very, very special bench like this one. Let's look at the lyrics. For sure, you love the city and you love life. Oh, good for you. What a nice place to sit. Alright, I think I'll go pay a visit to a very iconic little place in the city called Vera, and I'll tell you all about that in a second. And that's Bas, by the way. Say hi. Hello. What do you know? They've got an Irish pub here. Amazing. Well, behind me you see Vera, which is a cultural center here in the city. It's been home to many bands over the years. Punk, rock, you name it, every genre really. You could also have a decent meal here, the early 90s as a student. It's also the venue where in '89 a very young Nirvana played, and allegedly 1,000 people attended, but in reality there was only 60. So yeah, good music to be had here. So I'm about to enter the paper gasthuis where Bas, whom you saw earlier, used to live. It's one of those iconic little places, little squares and buildings that people live. So I'm going to stay quiet there, just to respect everyone's privacy. But we can film there for sure, so let's go. What do you know? We've got coffee shops here. Bit of protest going on against Russia invasion of Ukraine, obviously, so incredible.
We need 2 people for fundraising. If 2 people can come and help with the tables.
So I'm now at the Grote Markt again. When I last left you in the last video, there was a big anti-Russia Ukraine invasion protest going on here, and I didn't really feel like it was the appropriate time to continue with my walk. Just my bigger concerns in the world, and that's an understatement, of course. Here you see our old city hall. Fortunately, there's a hideous pizza thingy in front of it. There you see our most famous landmark, and that's the Martini Tower. We'll have a quick look at the Martini Tower shortly. This is rather new, so they've completely changed this east wall of the Grote Markt. It used to be, I believe, around 10-15 meters more to this side, but they've moved it backwards a bit, and there was also to make place for the Forum, which is behind it, which you saw in the last video. Now we move to the north, and this architectural wonder. So both the east and the north wall of the sites, I should say, of the Grote were heavily bombarded at the end of World War II, and that's what they created in place. Now, you could say opinions are divided whether or not this is nice, but you know, if you look at this side, well, if you have such a lovely old city, medieval city really, and then you come up with this, then something, then surely something is wrong with you architects. Come on, you could have done better. Oh well. Let's have a quick look at the south side. I thought I would come here on early Sunday morning and nobody would be about, but it's quite loud. Anyway, so that side is the south side, and the pub you see behind me is called Three Sisters. Fairly certain it's one of the biggest pubs in Europe, because this place for around 3,500 people, I believe. So actually they bought all these houses, and it's very deep as well, so it's absolutely huge. Oh, and over there is the fish market. Let's go check it out. So the little building you see behind me has changed ownership a few times over the years. It used to be actually a cinema, and when I came to the city in '92, there was a place called Cinema Bar. It was a pool and darts center, and that was apparently the first place in the Netherlands where you could go out 24/7. So it never closed. So it's absolutely fantastic as a student. Not necessarily good for my study points, but hey, lots of fun to be had there back in the day. So yeah, Cinema Bar, I think it was called back then. So super fun. Right, let's check out some other things here at the Grote Markt. Right, I'm in the Heerstraat now, which is your default shopping street like you could find anywhere. Not interesting at all, except it's on our Monopoly board, as well as the Grote Markt, where I've just been, and our Kerkhof. It's one of the perks of getting up early, so you get to see the city when it's quiet. This is one of my favorite buildings here, Goudkantoor. It used to be a tax office, and goud means gold, so gold office. I guess that makes sense. Now we are going to go and see our main attraction, I guess, the Martinitoren. Now, of course, I'm a good citizen here, so I don't climb it. You won't ever see a Parisian climbing the Eiffel Tower, so I'm of course not going to climb the Martini Tower. I think it's 96 point something meters high. I probably have to rectify myself. And it's supposed to be the highest building in the city as well. That is to say, no other building should obscure the view on the Martini Tower from whichever direction you come and enter the city. I don't believe that's entirely true anymore, but it's a nice thought at the very least. So let's check out the Martini Tower, the Het Provinciehuis, the Province House, and various other things. So let's do it. Well, yeah, apparently it stands at 97 meters. So the tower dates back from around 1465-ish, and I think I read somewhere that it was built on the remnants of an old wooden church that already was in existence around the year 800. So it's very old, has been rebuilt numerous times as these things go. And well, let's see, Province House, I think there's something interesting to see there as well. Alright, let's do it. behind me you see the Province House. Very beautiful building, I think. There's the Forum again. Of course, this is the Martini Kerk. Behind it, the Martini Tower. This is the Martini Kerkhof. So this is the Martini Graveyard. And this is, of course, the Provinciehuis. And that house there at the end has a bit of a story as well. So this is actually quite special, because this house here, or rather its front, used to belong to another house that was in the Oude Kijk in the Jatstraat, a street where I will be going later today. And I'm not quite sure which house that was. Probably doesn't exist anymore because it's here now, but anyways, so apparently they thought the front was so important and beautiful that it was worthy of another place in the city. So well done. It's nice to conserve beautiful pieces of architecture. I think it might have been the janitor that used to live here. That's the Prinsenhof. It's now a very fancy hotel. And behind it, the Prinsentuin, where I will be going as well. It's so lovely to be here on a sunny morning. Nice and quiet. Oh, would you please shut up? I'm talking. Come on. Thank you. So here they've literally bridged the gap between the old and new, which I think is alright. Certainly if you can see the reflection of the old in the new. That's cool. And look at these. It's not bad for a province house. So I'm actually now walking at the back of the Provinciehuis, and I'll be walking towards the Prinsenhof, which, as the name suggests, Prince of course means prince. Dutch language is not really that difficult. And one of the reasons is that it did house quite a few princes back in the day. We had quite a few skirmishes between royalties and not wannabe royalties over the centuries, and they used to come here quite often. I'm not sure if the garden is open yet, or it might be open, but there would be not that much to see, so that's unfortunate. But and I think we'll have a quick look at the city theatre, and then we'll just continue, won't we? Could be a long one. This might have to cut it up in many parts, because well, it's already running long now. Anyways, let's continue the tour. I reckon there's some tricks you can apply to remove an object from a picture, from a video. I'm not sure if I can magically make this car go away, because yeah, that's a shame. Right, let's have a quick look at the Prinsentuin, I guess. Right, I'm now standing at the entrance of the Prinsentuin, which is adjacent to the Prinsenhof. It's early March now, 2 weeks after my my last visit, and I don't think there will be too many flowers in bloom, but we'll have a quick look. That's nice, little green oasis in the city. We don't have typically in Holland, in cities, too much green, unfortunately. I'm not sure why that is. Well, I guess ground prices are at a premium. So that over there is now the hotel. I think it's rooms are usually around 150 euros, so quite expensive. Oh well, location. Now how can you tell the time from this? From the shadow somehow. How fantastic. Well, Garderpoort obviously is a guard, so this would definitely have been a gate. Alright, let's check out our city theatre. Shame about the cars. That struck my view, but oh well. And the theatre, that's a theatre. So this is our not too shabby looking city theatre, Stadsschouwburg. It's very nice inside as well. Well, apparently this was a very crappy theatre at first. Lots of issues. Broken walls, the audio was abysmal, but well, they've made quite a few changes over the years, and now it's really super. I think I'll make my way to the Northern Harbour now, Northern Harbour, because there's some nice old buildings there that have a connection to the olden times when Groningen was directly connected to the sea via the river called Rijtdiep. Let's just check it out. England. Well, as I mentioned, there used to be an open connection to the sea up north, and that's why you'll see quite a few warehouses here, and they will typically have names of either countries like France or England, or many cities in the Baltics and Scandinavia, I believe. So let's see if we can find some names. So as this is a free haven, that means that any ship can search for a place here and stay there pretty much indefinitely. The downside on that is if you have to do some maintenance and you have to go to a shipyard, you might not find your place back, so that's a bit tricky, I guess. Let's have a look at that over there, an old brewery. So apparently there used to be a brewery here well in the 17th century, 1659. Wow. And it was called the Quay back in the day already. So let's see if we can have a proper look at some of the warehouses. It says here Damals. It's funny because I thought most of these warehouses were named after mainly Scandinavian and Baltic cities, but maybe Damals is one. Never heard of it. No idea. So this one's called Frankrijk, France. Cool. Keep knocking. Well, I'm not sure if you can see the head on the wall properly. So this street is called Oude Kijk in de Jatstraat, which probably means something like I'm looking into the street, or outside of the street, because this used to be the edge of the city, so there would be some parameters here. And back in the older days, this head would look inwards, so they've actually pinned it onto the wall now, but it used to be looking that way. And yeah, kind of cool that they've kept it at the very least. Now we go and see our university, I think, or I don't know yet. We'll see. Well, I spent quite a bit of time here. This part of the university where the Roman language section was a million years ago. Alright, and just around the corner is our beautiful university. So now we get to another famous landmark here, our university that dates back from 1614. Well, I'm guessing exams must be coming up because it's quite crowded with bicycles. This is the university library. Now the university is built in a neo-Renaissance style, which I think is rather nice, but that's personal opinion, of course. Well, those were the days. So let's head to the fish market. The fish market. So this is our fish market, and you can really smell it, even if it's the day after. Yeah, that beautiful building up there is a Korenbeurs. It now houses a supermarket, which is better than nothing, I suppose. And here are a few nice houses. Right, I think that pretty much completes most of the inner city. Of course, there's lots more to see and to tell. I think last stop for now is the museum, so let's go there. Let's see if we can get some baguette for lunch. I think so, as I'm very close to my regular place for Sundays. Pretty much the only place, as far as I know, you can get decent baguette. And someone who is not unfamiliar with France, baguettes are very important to me. So let's go and have ourselves a fantastic baguette. Now, I just wanted to start filming our most famous loo, which you see over there. It's a bit of an artwork, but I think someone just went in, so I'm not sure if that's quite appropriate. I guess I'll just wait. Right, it's a bit of a see-through loo. I'm not sure who designed it, but not sure if that would be my first go-to then. Yeah, 1 or 2 more stops to go, so let's check out the final few things that I want to show you. Right. So I'm now just walking by the synagogue here in the Volkingenstraat. This area used to be the epicenter of the Jewish quarter in the city, but unfortunately from 1942 and onwards, pretty much all of them, 2,800, were deported and subsequently murdered. And yeah, so now we come to a very special door that symbolizes the loss of their lives and of course the cultural meaningness of this event. Because if you look closely, you see there's no doorknob. The door cannot open. It's a perfect symbol, I think, for this dark period in the city. So this is very, very much a symbol of a history gone past. There's no way back, and yeah, it's a true testament to all the people's lives that have been lost. And so that's a true tragedy, of course. Now, after this sad moment, I think it's time for the penultimate stop, and yeah, let's look at the cannonball. So, a cannonball in 1672, what's the story there? Well, 1672 was quite a bit of a year for us. We were attacked by both England, France, the bishops of Münster and Cologne. So in the north we had to deal with the rather pugnacious Bishop of Münster, a city 200k from here. So in July 1672, he, in his army of 24,000, tried to attack the province and the city at large. And for about a month he bombarded the city from the south, because that was the only way in for him, and his preferred military tactics was to bomb things, which gave him his nickname. So we know him as Bommen Berend, or Bombing Bernard. And after a month of siege he gave up, as there were no reinforcements coming in from the Bishop of Cologne. And so basically he gave up, and we won. and that actually gave us our regional holiday, the 28th of August. So that's our Liberation Day, 1672. And yeah, so that's the story behind the cannonball and the year 1672. Now I think it's about time for my really last stop, which would be the museum. So I'll see you there. This bridge is normally crowded with pedestrians and cyclists, and it's quite remarkable to be here on a Sunday morning with hardly anyone about. I might actually pop in a museum later today. We have a thing in the Netherlands called Museum Pass, which I think is like around 60 or 70 euros. And if you know that regular entrance to any museum is usually 10 to 15 euros, that's a good deal. So the main architect of this museum is Alessandro Mandini. There were a few others as well, but yeah, he's the lead architect who was. So the museum typically houses archaeology, local history and contemporary fine arts. There's quite a few exhibitions of all kinds of stuff, and of course they house at least the Netherlands famous artist collection called De Ploeg, who were quite famous in the early 1920s or so, I believe. Expressionist group they were, and they have a fine collection here as well. What else is there to say about the museum? Well, of course building it was quite a bit of a stir, a controversy, because yeah, it's in the water and it's opposite of the beautiful railway station, so it was not necessarily deemed beautiful, I suppose, but I really like it. I like the contrast of it, and I think it's proven its place in our city by now. So yeah, I hope you enjoyed this little guided city walk, and well, if you have any questions, just post them in the comments and I'll see if I can answer them. Probably have to Google them myself, but hey. Yeah, so that's it for now. So I would say enjoy your hikes, your rides, and stay safe out there, and I'll see you in the next video. Alright, cheers, bye bye. The only thing missing is the forum. Oh well. Lovely, so quiet here today. Right, I should be quiet too. experience the whole trip. And well, see you in the next, probably a ride. Alright, cheers, bye.